Hi, and welcome to MBA512. This is the summer 2018 edition, and this is a fully online course where everything will be done online. We'll never see each other in person, which is great for a summer course because some of us are traveling, some of us live in different countries, so this course is built for the student on the go. Okay, so let me go over how to get started with this course and how the course is organized. I try very hard to make the course as clear-cut and well organized and as well explained as possible so you can get right to doing the work and not have a lot of confusing questions about how things are going to work. Okay, so the first thing I suggest you do is read over the announcements. And the first announcement is what to work on each week. So this is our introductory announcement, and I have a 6-step process of what you should do to get ready for the course. So the first step is to see the syllabus on the menu to review the class objectives. 2, see assignments on the menu tab to submit case studies, homework assignments. 3, see discussions on the menu tab to post and reply to our class discussion topics. 4, see Zoom simulation on the menu tab to register and play. 5, watch the Getting Started video MBA512. This is what you're watching right now. And 6, I suggest you subscribe to our course playlist for the class so you can see all the videos I've curated for the course. Okay, so this is the menu tab that I'm talking about for the class. Okay, so week 1, for each week I've outlaid the week and the chapters we're covering, the videos to watch. So each week, for the first 4 weeks, we're covering 3 chapters each week with 3 lectures, 1 per chapter. And then the homework usually is going to be made up of discussion board questions and a round of the Zoom simulation and case studies for the week. So then week 2, we move into chapters 4, 5, and 6 with corresponding video lectures 4, 5, and 6. And again, more discussion board questions, simulation, and case study. Week 3, chapters 7, 8, 9, videos 7, 8, 9, and then discussion board questions, round 3 of the simulation, and week 3 case studies. In week 4, we finished the first textbook with chapters 10, 11, and 12, videos 10, 11, 12, and of course discussion boards, 1 round of the simulation, and week 4 case studies. Okay, week 5 and week 6, we move into the Blue Ocean Strategy textbook. So the Blue Ocean Strategy here I have, in this particular case, I have a lecture I recorded in the first half of the book, and I also have a guest lecture from the author of the book, and another guest lecture from a professor from the University of San Diego discussing the Blue Ocean. And then in week 6, we finish the Blue Ocean textbook. I have another lecture in the second half of the Blue Ocean textbook that I have here, plus 2 optional videos about making competition irrelevant and implementing and executing the Blue Ocean strategy that I recommend but not 100% must watch. Okay, so that's the 6 weeks of the course that we're going to lay out. So the course becomes fairly routine. Think of it this way: you read your chapters, you watch your video lectures, you participate in the discussion board questions, you complete the case study, you do a round of the Zoom simulation. So that pretty much is the process each week. Now this course has a final exam, and the final exam will open up on July 4th at 6 a.m. and will close July 7th at 10 p.m. So I'll give you a few days, 3 days to work on the final exam. More about the final exam later. I just want you to keep note of the dates for the final exam. Okay. And the final exam can be found under assignments, but not until after July 4th. And I realize July 4th is a holiday, but I opened it up on the 4th anyway, just in case people had some extra time that day, wanted to work on it. But it'll be open up to the end of the class on the 7th. Okay, so the Zoom simulation is something that is a project that is a simulation of making high-level strategic decisions on a manufacturing company. So I put down 7 tips on how to play better and earn a higher score of the simulation, because the simulation will be started and be processed The first round we processed on June 1st at 11:30 p.m. And this is going to be something we're going to compete in a classroom environment, so the classroom competition. Now, you can, if you like to, work by yourself in the classroom competition, or you can join teams of other students up to a team of 3 students at the max. So if you know somebody else in the course or familiar with other people in the course, you can ask them and talk to them about being on your team, or you can work individually. Because I realize it's an online class and sometimes the teamwork may just be too tough, and individually might be a lot easier for some folk. Okay, I do have a getting started video on the simulation. This video goes over everything the simulation is about and how I suggest completing it and the basic ideas of the simulation. Keep in mind that this is an older video I recorded a while ago, so don't pay attention to any specific due dates in the video, any specific class codes in the video, anything. That video is very specific to a course a couple of years ago, but I liked the video. It seemed very helpful to students, so I'm going to have you rewatch it. But just keep in mind that anything I talk about in this video about assignments or what you should do, you need to do this, you need to do that, is not relevant to this class. This is just a video to watch to get an idea of how the mechanics of the simulation work. So the simulation is 15 points. Each student will be a team of 1. You can work with other students if you like to work with 2 or 3 other students, that's fine. You go to jupiterinteractive.net. The class code is June 18th. So this is the class code specifically for our course. Do not use any class codes that might be mentioned in the video. Use this June 18th. And the schedule is pretty simple. We do 1 round a week for all 6 weeks, and each round is due, let's see the dates here, on Friday. So Friday, June 1st, 8th, 15th, 22nd, 29th, and finally Friday, July 6th. So just keep in mind Friday is the last day to complete the round of the simulation, and you're trying to earn over 2,500 points. And I usually have about 80% of the class that can easily earn over 2,500 points. Now, the Zoom simulation, we're not using reflective observations, not a requirement. And I think I'm able to turn those off, so you might not even see them now. I also have a video here of what not to do in the simulation that I had recorded for a previous class. So 2 videos to help with the Zoom simulation. Okay. And I do leave a little announcement on how the proper way to make citations in the case study and different websites you can use to learn about how to properly use citation styles and examples. Okay, so that's the announcements for the course. So let's go back up and see the syllabus. So the syllabus for this class, this is an asynchronous class, which means that I'm going to provide videos, I'm going to provide documents and lectures and tests, but all online. And we're never going to meet in person. Now, a lot of the assignments have particular due dates they need to be completed by, but there's no group meetings online. So you work on your own pace, on your own time. You just have to make sure things are done before the due date. Now, basically this course is, we're going to look at strategies for how managers can develop an awareness of what a company needs to do to improve their performance. So the learning goals for the course is, there's a few of them. A, we want to gain an understanding of the factors to consider when strategic planning, what a company should do, and B, how to apply certain analytical and planning tools to develop a corporate strategy. Specifically, we will explore the groups of people who have an interest in business and what business does, the success of a business, how the success of a business is measured, how to identify and capitalize key strategic strengths in the existing business and develop and maintain a competitive advantage relative to other businesses in the same industry. 4, how to identify and analyze factors that are critical to the success of a business, including business strengths and weaknesses, opportunities and threats it encounters. Let me just move this over a bit. And how to apply analytical tools to formulate a strategy. So how we're going to accomplish these goals? Well, we're going to use a textbook. We're going to have video lectures. We're going to have discussions. We're going to have a business computer simulation. And the simulation is going to simulate a company where you're going to compete against other students in the class, and we're going to utilize case studies of real-world examples. So class time will be a combination of our lectures, our discussion boards, discussion of current events and case studies. And so the discussion boards is an important aspect of the course, and I will discuss how that's going to work in a minute. Okay, so the textbook for the class, the first textbook is Strategic Management, Theory and Practice, 5th edition. It looks like this, and you can get this book online. It's a reduced price book that's available online, so you can purchase it in a variety of different formats. You can even get a physical book if you need one. And we also have book 2, The Blue Ocean Strategy. And this book is something you can easily get on Amazon. Here, you don't have to get the expanded edition. That's $21, $18 on Kindle. You can get the older edition. There's plenty of used copies for $2.52 and above. So there's an older edition that you can get that's much cheaper. You don't need to have to get the expanded edition. They didn't really expand it that much, but that's up to you which edition you get. So that book is relatively inexpensive. So both these books are reduced price books that I specifically trying to watch the cost of this class. Now, and of course, you can email me if you have any problems getting either of these books. The grades in class will be participation, which is going to be how involved you are with the discussion boards, will be 18 points, or 3 points per missed section. The mini case work will be 30 points, 5 points each week, that will be requiring you to answer various questions. And most case papers can be around 2 pages to 4 pages max. Don't go over 4 pages, which is like 200 to 800 words. There, I did put an example case study on Blackboard, which we'll go over in a minute. And the case studies are all coming from this textbook. The online exam will be 37 points. We'll go over that in a minute. And the Zoom simulation we talked about before will be 15 points. So you add these points together, and that translates into a letter grade. And this is the scale here. There will be a final exam that will open up on the 4th of July, close up on the 7th of July. So you'll have at least, I say here you'll have 2 days to complete, but it looks like you're going to have at least 3 days to complete. And so you're going to see assignment, the link of the exam will appear in assignments on July 4th. Okay, so participation. So each class, for each week, I'll have a discussion board question or 2. And these discussion board questions are where you participate. So I will post questions and topics, and each student is expected to participate. And if the student is unprepared or does not post and respond to the discussion board questions, they will lose points per question. And I'll go over in a minute specifically what's the confines of participation in that. So the course runs from May 29th to July 7th, and you want to see the assignments tab for the case studies, and you want to see discussions for the discussion boards, and I suggest you subscribe to the class playlist. This is what the class playlist looks like. It's just a list of the videos I curated for the class that you can subscribe to. That could be very useful in keeping track of what you need to watch on a daily basis. Okay, again, this was posted under announcements. This is the schedule for the course, what we're covering each week. And then academic dishonesty. I expect you to withhold the utmost ethical approach to this class. Please do not plagiarize, cut and paste from the internet, copy from other students, or cheat or plagiarize or commit any academic dishonesty in the course. If you do, I will recommend you fail the course, and quite often if you cheat at the graduate level, you will be suspended or expelled from the MBA program. So be very careful with that. Okay, so let's go back up so that's the basic syllabus. Take the time to read it over. I just did a brief overview of it. If we go to our course documents, this is where you'll see the PowerPoints for strategic management and the Blue Ocean textbook. So in here I have the PowerPoint set for all 12 chapters of the strategy book and the 2 PowerPoints I put together for the Blue Ocean. Here is the Zoom simulation. So if you click on this tab, it'll bring you to the Zoom simulation. You may want to, also go directly to the web page because it'll be a better environment to work in. But basically, you need to register here as a student. And when you register as a student, it's going to ask you some basic information. Make sure you use a password you can remember. Click on a robot, submit, and then it's going to ask for the class code. And the class code for this is June 2018. So let's go back here. And if you look under assignments, I will outline down here the Zoom simulation June 18. June 18 is the class code for the simulation. Here is the website, and here are all the due days for the simulation. Okay, so let's go back up. So I just kept the button here to make it easy to get to the site. The assignments, on the assignments here, the first assignment here is the discussion boards. You don't actually click this or submit anything here. It's just saying that the discussion board is 18 points. So there'll be 6 discussion boards, 1 discussion board per week, worth 3 points. And we're going to discuss the discussion boards in a minute, but I'm going to expect everyone to post an original response to my questions, and then at least 2 replies to other students' responses. And each post should be somewhere between 100 and 200 words, and you earn points for participation in the quality of your answers and replies. So the minimum is 1 original and 2 replies, but I certainly do appreciate it when you go above the minimum. Okay, so for Class 1 cases, this is due on Sunday, so it looks like all the casework is due on Sunday for all the weeks, even week 6. So for each week, I will post the case. So here is Case 1 Costco, which you can find at the end of Chapter 1, and Case 2 Home Depot, which you find at the end of Chapter 2, and each case has 3 questions. So I say down here, hand in the case questions by clicking on the link above. This is the link I'm talking about. Attach file to browse my computer button, keep a backup copy, include your name on your assignment, and then you'll see an exclamation mark in the grade book, which means it's waiting for me to grade, and that means it's all good. If you see a question mark or a padlock, that might mean there's a problem in the grade book. So and it usually takes me, I try to grade everything at the end of the week. There are no late submissions to these case studies, so make sure you do them on time. And please attach a Word or PDF file to the link. Okay, so what you could do is you can kind of just Control copy, open up Word, make sure you have your name in the file, put in your case questions, and then answer each question. So you can just have the question and type in your answer below. So you don't have to make it, it doesn't have to be an essay format. Just see the question, type in your answer, and move on to the next question. Leave the question in the number so I know what questions you're answering and make it easier for me to grade. And so each case is a page or two, and each case has 3 or 4 questions that I'm expecting you to not just use the material from the case, but also to look for additional support or additional materials from the internet or the library databases. When you've fully written up your case, you want to click on this link here, and then there's a rubric. So you may want to view the rubric. So the rubric is basically how I grade your case. So in the rubric I have, if I feel the paper is well organized and well presented, strong visual appeal, good formatting, grammar, good headings, I'll give you above average would be 1 point, average would be 0.75. So for each of the points, you can see that I'm going to put in, this is what I'm looking for, and this is basically how I'm going to grade. So this is rubric is a good way of looking at, So there's 5 areas, which you can earn up to a full point in each of the 5 areas if I feel you've done above average in each of those areas. So you may want to review this rubric before you begin the case. And again, the case questions are here. And when you're done with your Word document, you would want to click on Attach Files. So you click Browse My Computer, and then you will select the file to attach your Word document, and then click Submit. And that's how you would submit the case studies under assignments. So pretty straightforward. And there should be somewhere, I'm going to put an example case up for you so you can see what I'm looking for. I just haven't added it yet. Okay, so those are your weekly case studies that you're going to do all the way up to week 6. And so the library resources, when you click here, this is a library from Stony Brook that you can use to research articles from journals and books to get some additional information for your case. So if we put in Amazon and we want to look for, say it's in the title, we can search, and then this will bring up articles that could be related to the cases that you're working on. So here we could say, okay, just give me the magazines. I don't want all results. And then you can, so here, Amazon Echo versus Google Home, you can click on the full text. You can see the information of where the article is coming from. And so let's click on this link here. You can also cite. So you click here and you get the citation that you can copy right from here and put into your paper, which is great. And then you can also, this particular case, you can see the full text in the PDF. Takes a second to load. So you do have to log in with your Stony Brook account, and then you can get the full text of the article. So it makes it very easy here to cite your work properly. It's already done for you. That's why I take points off if you don't cite. And in any of these case studies, I expect you to have at least 1, 2, or at least 3 outside citations that you're bringing information in to add to support the answers, because the cases are rather small, so I expect you to look up some supplemental information related to each of the cases. So that's why this library button is here. And the cases are all about big companies. There's a lot that you can look up or add to support your answers. So your answers aren't just fully your opinion. You should have some facts or stated quotes in there from citations from different articles or academic journals, and that's why I left this library resources button here. Okay. Now finally, let's look at discussions. So here on the discussion board, this is where we have the discussions for the class. So for week 1, discussion question week 1, you click here to complete the discussion question. So here it is. What companies do you think has the best strategy? Why? Describe and explain. What is their strategy? Give details. What makes their strategy better than their competitors? So 2 rules. Don't use Apple as your company, and don't repeat other students' examples. Now, I would also like you to rate each student's post of their original thread from 1 to 5 stars. And of course, I always say you need to make 1 original post and have 2 replies to other students. And this will end this first original week 1. I'm going to give you to, let's see, June 3rd, which is a Sunday of that first week, to complete this first discussion board. And I really would hope that you would post your original response on Monday through Wednesday and reply to other students' responses Wednesday through Saturday to keep the discussion board alive. So it's very simple. When you want to start the discussion board, you click here, and then you're going to click Create a Thread. And then you would put your name first. Your name, and then You could say discussion question 1, just so we know who you are. Then below here you could put in your responses. And I'm okay if you copy the questions here and then put your responses, put the questions down here, and then put your responses below each of the questions, and that'd be great. And if you have any, you can also put citations in these discussion boards if you're citing some fact or figure from a magazine or article, and then you hit submit. And so I'm not going to submit this, I'm just going to hit cancel. Now here's an example post from John Doe on Zappos. They think Zappos is the best. So if we click in here, we'll see that here is the typical response. It's a rather lengthy response, and then gives a detail of the company's core values and a citation based on where this information was pulled. Now, so this is the student's response. Now, for you should read each student's responses and rate the response from 1 to 5 stars. This helps the person posting the response to know whether or not they did a good job. So this peer feedback is very important. And please, it's anonymous. Please be very honest. If you think someone did a really lazy, terrible job, give them 1 star. If you think they did a great job, give them 5 stars. And then after reading the response, go in here and reply. And you can ask them a question, state a fact, correct an error, and just further discussion or about their post. You may talk about related companies or something else that's familiar, and somehow you want to keep this as if we're in a real classroom having the discussion, and the student presented this answer in class, and now this class is talking about the discussion. And then you just click submit, and your response will be up there and posted. So let's go back. Okay. Now, for some of the discussion boards, it may ask you to post your original response first before you can view the other students' threads. So don't let that confuse you. If you click on it and it looks like you're the first thread being created, it's because on some of the cases I've made it so that you have to submit your response first before you see all the other students' responses. I think I did it that way. Okay, so here are class questions. So this is just a general open-ended discussion board that you can click in here, and then you can subscribe to any of the discussion boards. You can subscribe, and you'll get an email anytime someone posts to these discussion boards. So in here, you can create a new thread for a new question, or you can ask, here's an example, questions for professor simulation questions, where students will, hello professor, I'm not familiar with the simulation. Regarding the team process, I ask because past team projects I use Google Docs. Any feedback would be great. So this is an example question, and then I could reply to this question. And also here, looking for team members. So if you wanted to post, hi, does anyone want to join my team? You can go in here and you can create a new thread in here. Create a reply or create a new thread in here to ask, looking for teammates. And you can always, as always, ask additional questions in here if you wanted to, up to you. So this is some way that we can kind of communicate back and forth. If there's something a question you think will help a lot of the students in the class, you can put it in here as well. Okay, so each week I have thankfully only 1 discussion question for you to work on each week. So the way I'm envisioning this is you make your Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, you create your original post, and then you start on these days, you start also reading other students' posts and responding to them, and create a real community online where we are discussing these open-ended strategic management types of questions to really cement in the current thought process and current events and current real companies in the process of strategy. And I think that'd be a great way to kind of keep the class discussion alive. And the more effort the students put in, the more feedback you'll give each of the students as far as rating the posts and things of that nature, the better the class will be. So I leave that up to you to create this environment. Okay, so that's it for the class review. So we've gone over basically what you need to do to this class, and it just becomes a real rhythm every week. So every week you read your chapters, you watch your lectures, you post your discussion board posts, you complete a round of the simulation, and you do your case studies. So pretty self-explanatory, and I think you'll have a lot of fun with this course. There's a lot of relevant and timely information about companies and events and concepts and strategy, and I think this will help tie together everything about the course. And I think you'll specifically love the Zoom simulation. It really ties together a lot of aspects of your MBA education. It ties together finance with operations management, with sales, with marketing, with production, and it really puts together all the elements of how a strategy is formulated with a company and how a company is run to maximize shareholders' wealth. Okay, so that's it for me. I hope you found this review of the course helpful in getting started with strategy, and that you have a wonderful class, and I'll be talking to you soon. Thank you and goodbye.